started. There we go. Okay, it just started.
Unlike the Democratic National Convention, we do have blips in our social media.
We had glitches.
And our live feed just died because of our
out.
internet. So we are back. We apologize. And let's move on with what you were talking about what makes you feel hopeful.
I think I was done. I was talking about this lovely weather and fresh air and how it gives me almost a visceral, physical hopefulness. So the last topic we were going to talk about is what do we do if we feel hopeless? And, you know, several people have dropped off. I'm just looking at the numbers here. I'm hoping people are going to be reconnecting before we plunge totally in. Yeah, so sorry about that.
You can see the numbers, so
I can barely see a little tiny number up there.
You have these eyes, I can see something.
Yeah, so our next topic is what to do if you feel hopeless, because that is the reality that so many of us are living with and through. And do you want to start on that?
Well, it has been a somewhat hopeless feeling type of season living in the United States right now. And I don't want to go all political,
Not even just here,
but I
probably.
think all over the world you've seen it too. These are trying times.
Yeah.
And you go to bed at night and you wonder if you have hope. And then you find it in small areas and when you wake up usually, you know, but it's that is it still there feeling that is really hard to overcome. And I think one of the things that helps me overcome that is like what I mentioned before, is to look backwards and see how many times I've fallen or how many things have happened that I got back up. And I probably learned something through it and my next experience was better. So I think looking in the past helps me have hope for the future.
Yeah. So I wrote down a few things. One is the old Mr. Rogers advice to look for the helpers. I can't remember what sort of natural disaster or problem was going on in our nation a few years ago, but one of the things that was suggested when we were all experiencing a lot of hopelessness was that one of the things that feeds that is feeling like there's nothing that can be done to change it. So if you're feeling that way, one of the things you can do is look for the people who are doing things to make a difference. And put your attention on those things where change is happening, and look at people who have demonstrated their ability to change. You've probably got people in your life who you have a lot of you have heavy hearts about because you're worried about where they're stuck. And you've got others who you've seen some transformations in. And the same way in our political situation, we've got people who've been entrenched in the same views, and we see people who are saying, yeah, we had those views and we've shifted. So, you know, look for those helpers, look for those people who show that transformation is possible. And remember that, internalize that change can happen within us, even when it seems like, you know, people are never going to change. There is the possibility of change and growth. Did you have another tip, a pointer for what to do if you feel helpless?
Well, you know, sometimes I sound corny, so here I go.
Because they are
Where am I going to go?
You are corny.
I am.
That's just how it is.
I find hope in my beloved.
Oh.
You know, there are times I'll see something on TV that feels devastating, and you feel like you can't do anything about it, and I'll look over and she just gives me that look. And I just see, what I call it is a match in a dark tunnel. There's just this spark of something there that can help lead you to a path, and that path, I believe, is hope. So I hope that people find someone that does that for them, whether it be a friend or a colleague or a spouse or a partner, you know, whatever. I think that one of the things that I do see hope in when I am hopeless is in your eyes and in your heart. So that's important for me. You ground me.
Aren't you sweet? She's the sweetest. So focusing on small changes that you can make in areas that you can actually control can help you feel more hopeful, because there's so much that we can't control, right? There's so much that's it's outside of our hands. But there are things that we can control, and even if they're unrelated to the big concerns of life, there is something about creating change, even in small ways, that makes you feel more hopeful. We've been working on that. We've mentioned in previous weeks that we've been working on projects around the house. We bought a house when we moved here that was in rough shape. It was in rough
That's an
shape.
understatement.
An elderly person lived here for a lot of years and hadn't really done much, for a long time. So we've been steadily making, change and improving it. And doing these little projects. The other night we were tore off one of the stair treads because the stairs are almost impossibly vertical, and really hard to use and uneven and crazy. We pulled off a stair tread, and we didn't fix it right then and there, but it gave us hope that we can do something about these stairs. We may not be able to end the pandemic. We can do something about these stairs, maybe. So, just doing these little projects for me.
Yeah, I think hope is essential. Hope is expecting with confidence. And you can find hope in these tiny, tiny little places. Like you find it by opening a window. I find it by looking in your direction and, holding your hand. I find it in the encouraging words from our friends on Facebook, people who are reading your book. I find hope in those little places. So expect with confidence.
That's good stuff. The last thing that I had is that, when it's feeling overwhelming, we need to remember the brevity of this life, and that shouldn't make you feel hopeless. That should make you feel hopeful. Being a kind of a people of faith in this God of love. I can't remember, was it Teresa de Avila? I can't remember which of the Teresas said, compared life to a weekend in an inconvenient hotel. We are here and now, and everything seems very all-consuming, whether it's politics or our financial situations or concerns about our health and our children going to school, all of the concerns. All of those things are both simultaneously hugely important and insignificant in the big and long-term reality, in the view of God, in the view of reality. God cares intimately about all of those concerns. But at the same time, God knows, and you should know, you can know, that it's a tiny, tiny little sliver of time. And when we join into eternity, when we enter into eternity, and when we merge, we become one with God and with each other and with the stars. It's not going to seem important. So remember how huge you are. Remember the stuff of which you are made. Remember that you are part of eternity already, and you will be in eternity, and none of what's happening now is going to be terribly consequential. And may that give you hope. Yeah, may it give you hope.
That's good stuff.
Anything else from you?
Well, I hope with confidence today that you download one of Suzanne's books. It's free again today.
All right, Sex with God, free for until tomorrow.
Until tomorrow, and that's one of the things that we are blessed to be able to do now and then is to give away free copies. And we really want you to read it. We want you to be blessed. I personally, she's the writer, so she's going to be more humble. I'm the wife who adores her, and I'm telling you this is one of her best works. And I think that it's going to heal you. I think it's going to give you a springboard for discussions about sex and sexuality that has been much needed for way too long. So I pray that you download it. I'd love it if you leave reviews. That helps Suzanne's work and encourages her. She loves feedback. So we've got another day of that. So I'll share the link again, and I hope that you download it and receive it with
an open heart.
With an open heart.
Yeah, let God speak to you.
Well,
we love y'all. We will talk next week on some subject that
who knows?
Dolce is going to pick. It'll be their turn to pick. And remember that you are part of eternity, and that in light of eternity, this moment is tiny, and you are huge and magnificent. Okay? You guys take care.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Let's see ya.